gonna die. Going too fast. I'm taking 3.
I'm going for the St. Louis now.
Oh no!
Son of a bitch.
You get your 2?
Yeah. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Thotgor here, of course, and today I'm bringing you a Twin Brothers replay. Yeah, Twin Brothers, surprise, surprise, right? So, you can see today I'm matched up here with Gamgoon, and I'm in my Mogami, and he's in his Lexington. So this was another battle that we had done during Gamgoon's stream. It was really a fun time. These were all recorded on Saturday. I think the date on Saturday was... I have no idea. So, whatever, it was Saturday. Anyway, so, on Twin Brothers, and I'm commenting at this time to Gamgoon about the, this early battle craziness here where people are shuffling around, deciding where they're going to go, what side is going to be focused, and all that stuff. So that's what we're sort of talking about right now. You can see I'm positioned towards the west, and it looked like the majority of our team was going to head towards the east. So for that reason, I was like, yeah, no, I'm going on the west. And Gamgoon was like, alright, he was sending over his planes to do some scouting for me, which is great. I know I've talked about it before, but I really, really enjoy playing with Gamgoon, specifically when he's in his carrier. Not to say, I don't enjoy playing with Gamgoon when we're in other ships, but Gamgoon's a really good carrier player that I've found anyway. When all the other carrier players that I've played with, Gamgoon by far, in my opinion, is the person who really has it down pat. So I always like playing with Gamgoon when he's in his carrier. So I'm heading over to the to the west side, and I did mention to Gamgoon that it looked like that North Carolina behind me there was going to come with me, and in fact he is. There's also going to be 3 other cruisers who come with me initially as well, so it's not too bad on the west side here. We've got a battleship, North Carolina, we've got myself and my Mogami, and we have 3 other cruisers. So enemy ships do start popping up. You can see Gamgoon's planes are up there scouting them out for me, so I know that there is an Otago, a Cleveland, a Colorado, and a Baltimore over here that we're going to have to deal with. So the first target that did pop up was the Otago. Otago, I don't have one, but from what I've seen in-game and how it plays, it does look like a really, really nice cruiser to have, a premium cruiser. I have been considering getting one. But more importantly, your Otago and Otago drivers, your Otago is not invincible. It is very, very easy to get Citadel penetrations on you, as we will see shortly. So, try and keep that in mind when you are driving around your Otago. Make the best use of cover as possible. Don't do what this guy's doing right here, slowing down broadside to another enemy ship, specifically a cruiser. I will wreck you. So we put some shots into the Otago there. I didn't do a whole lot of damage to him just yet, but that of course is coming. So I'm kind of keeping my distance. You can see that I don't have to worry about getting into there and doing capping that point. This is a standard battle, so there's no points here to cap. So I'm free to keep my distance. Try to whittle them down, wait for my allies to come in together with my allies, try and do something about these guys. So you can see the Cleveland is right there, and I've put shots into him. My shots don't do a whole lot of damage to him as he turns at the last minute, so not too great there. I think it was about 1551 damage. Yeah, it's better than nothing, I suppose. So we continue to line up on the Cleveland and put any shots that I can get into him. But also, at this time I'm turning back around. You can see I was getting close to the edge of the map there, running out of cover, and I don't want to come into direct fire of the Colorado and the Baltimore that are making their way up that direction. So turning back around, this also gives me a good chance to see who exactly is with me and what they're doing. So we can see the North Carolina is right next to me and is actively putting shots out into the enemy ships. As for the other 3 cruisers that were with me, one of the cruisers is heading back over to the east. The other two cruisers do appear as though they're heading back towards the east at this time as well. You can see that's the direction their ship is pointed in. Um, but they do play a part later on in the battle, so pretty good call on their part anyway, to kind of back off right now. So the Baltimore did just pop up, and I put some shots into that guy. You can see the what is it, Colorado out there as well. He's going to be a bit of a problem for me later on, and the Otago pops up again. So he just went beyond that island, did a turn, and came back, and is doing some more broadsiding on us here, which I'm not too concerned about. I'm going to destroy them. I know that I'm broadside to these people as well, but you can see I'm covered by the island from the Baltimore over there, and I think it's a Cleveland there now as well. And then the Otago, I'm also covered from that guy by that other island. So right now is a perfect time for me to get some torpedoes into the water. The Baltimore is within the torpedo range, but this Otago here just came out of cover, so I need to put some shots into him. Make sure he knows I haven't forgotten about him. So my allies now cleared me, so I don't have to worry about whether or not I'm going to torp him. So I go ahead and put my torps into the water, and they're on the way to the Baltimore. While though that's taking place, I'm going to put more shots into the Otago. Coffee. So that was a great hit there, wasn't it? 4 Citadel hits. Not sure how much damage that was. I want to say about 28,000, but not 100% sure on that number. But not too bad at all. And this is what I was talking about earlier about, your Otago is not invincible. No ship is invincible. I will get Citadel penetrations on you, so try and make the best use of your cover as possible. You can see at this point in the battle, our east side has it hasn't failed. There's still three Allied battleships over there, and cruisers and Gamgoon. But the majority of the forces are to the extreme to the extreme east of the map, and they're not really being that effective where they are right now. So I wasn't convinced that we were actually going to be able to pull this out and win this battle. Some of the Allied cruisers that are with me are now over onto that east side, helping to support it, so that's nice to see as well. The Otago has grounded himself. Hooray for me. So we're going to put some shots into the Otago. You can see though I am switching between the Otago and the Cleveland. I wanted the double strike. I did get the Otago with one last Citadel shot to put me to a total of 5 Citadel hits, but unfortunately I wasn't able to finish off the Cleveland just yet for that nice double strike medal and flag, but whatever. At least I tried, right? At least I was able to recognize the situation and try. So you can see I'm coming under some intense air attack here. Gamgoon's planes, for the most part, are currently rearming and refueling, so I can't count on them. So it's all up to my ship, its AA, and my allied ships around me. Luckily, the enemy air attack is over. I did take some bombs, but I missed the torpedo hit, so that was really nice. And really lucky, because with this much health left, I really don't think I could have survived like a 3 or 2 torpedo hit, especially if I didn't see the planes coming. I may not have had my repair available. It might have been on cooldown after I repaired the fire from the dive bombers and not able to repair the flooding from the torpedo bombers, so yeah. Now Gamgoon there did just get clear sky. The end of the battle, Gamgoon wins this for us, no doubt about it. The stalling action that my allies and I are doing over here on the west side is also a critical component to our victory here as well, but for the most part it was Gamgoon, and you're going to see at the end of the battle the number of plane kills that Gamgoon gets. It's pretty spectacular. So now I still have the Baltimore to deal with, we still have the Colorado here to deal with, so I need to put more shots into them, and there's still that third enemy ship. Now the North Carolina did beach himself, but he is currently reversing and putting shots into the enemies, which is very, very nice and very helpful. Oh, the third enemy ship is the Nagato. Yeah, there he is. So he's out there as well. I don't really have to deal with the Nagato, though. He's going to get his very shortly, so wasn't concerned about that guy at all. My biggest concern here is the Baltimore. Now the Cleveland pops up. I was trying to see if I can get some shots into him to finish him off, but he's out of my range, so we're going to keep with the Baltimore. I have taken some severe damage. I'm very low on health, so I need to start utilizing cover if I want to have any hope of staying alive at all. Gamgoon rightly puts into the chat just reminding everyone how much time is left, so we are all aware of it. So it's 10 minutes that we have left in order to win the battle. Now unfortunately, my ally cruiser there is dead. He went down and was finished off by the Baltimore, I believe. One of those ships anyway. So that wasn't too great, but I still have the North Carolina there pounding away at them. This gives me the opportunity of going behind these islands and getting the cover I need in order to stay alive. I am switching between ammo types. I'm switching between armor piercing and high explosive. This was because with the amount of health that is left on the enemy ships and the amount of health that I have left, I wanted to start setting them on fire and doing damage over time while still hitting them with armor piercing. So that's why I was doing this. My hope was that the fire, a combination of fire and my armor piercing shells would get these people gone. They are fairly far away from me, and some of these ships aren't in my range, so I don't have the option of, aiming it on them and getting the citadel hits to do massive amounts of damage. I just can't take that sort of risk and get myself into that sort of position because I don't have the health to do it. Now it's at this point here in the battle that I'm saying to Gamgoon, alright, I have to play it safe, I'm going to need to hide, seek cover, I'm basically out of the battle now. Gamgoon was like, what, really? Like, yeah. And then I saw the Nagata was gone, Cleveland was almost dead, Baltimore's gone. And I said, nope, screw it, I'm going in. Gamgoon says, for glory? That's right, for glory. So I'm going to go in here. I'm going to try and use the cover as best I can. You can see that there is a nice torpedo shot going into the Colorado right now. Those were torpedoes launched by Gamgoon's torp bombers, and I congratulated him on the good torp run, because that was nice. I mean, it almost killed the Colorado entirely. I hoped and wished that it would have killed the Colorado entirely, but he's almost dead anyway. You can see the Japanese torpedo bombers there also did a run right now. The Cleveland is now in my range, so I want to take this guy out before I start focusing on that Colorado. I see the Cleveland as being the bigger threat to me now because I'm on such low health and the sheer amount of damage per minute that Cleveland can do. I don't give myself good chances of surviving if he remains. So I put some shots into him. He's down to I think 134 hit points. I take some receiving shots from him and he sets me on fire. I use my repair right away, put out the fire, and managed to kill the Cleveland at the same time. So that was nice. Now I have this Colorado to deal with. I took a shot from him, put some shots into him. I'm on really low health. He's got some shots coming in. I managed to avoid those ones, which was great. I did about 2,000 damage to him in that salvo while he was repairing. So that was excellent to see. So we can keep him on low health and hopefully Gamgoon can come in and maybe bomb him and take him out, if I were to die. More shots going into him. I should have been firing high explosive here, I think. I think that would have done more, but I didn't. And unfortunately I do die. So there we go. But Gamgoon is still alive and going strong. So if we look at our mini-map, you can see now on the west side, all of our allied ships are gone. We all died, but to that point, I guess, the only ship remaining is the Colorado. We do have a friendly Colorado. I have no idea what this guy is doing though, because he's to the extreme south of the map, riding the blue line, not contributing a damn thing to the team. So, don't know what that guy is doing. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt and say that he was disconnected. Who knows if that's possible. I am doing some glory shots of the Lexington here. I don't know about you guys, but I find this ship is very, very nice looking. Just amazing, especially with the camo on here as well. Yeah, it looks just great. Actually, that's something I wanted to mention. In closed beta, for anyone who played closed beta, do you remember the old US ship hull colors? It was, I think, red below the waterline, blue halfway above the waterline, and then white for the top portion of the ship. I thought that was really nice. And they took it away though, and I was wondering why, and I was trying to think about it, and I said, well, you know, maybe it's just because it's in open beta now that they took it away. And then I thought about it more, and I thought about wargaming and how they're a company. I do have my business degree. I'm not I'm not just some idiot who decided one day to make YouTube videos. You know, I've got some formal education behind me, so I was able to think about wargaming, them being a business, and I thought, you know, the ships, at least the American ships, without their camo, look pretty bare. Not only bare, they look fairly ugly. So a lot of people are going to want their ship to look nice, right? And they did recently add camouflage, so it would make sense, to me anyway, from a business standpoint in terms of getting people to spend money on the game and earning money in return to keep the game going. It makes sense to me that they would do that, give the American and the Japanese ships, I mean, they didn't change the Japanese ships, but give the Americans an ugly hull type so that you're not forced, but you know, if you have any dignity or if you have any desire for your ship to look nice, you're going to spend the money to make it look nice, and then eventually you might have to buy gold, and you know, game earns money that way. Now, same thing with the Japanese ships, of course. It's just their hull types haven't been changed. Frankly, obviously I'm biased, but frankly I find the stock Japanese hull type looks so much better than the stock American hull type. Now obviously once you throw some camo onto that American ship, it looks the best, hands down, even when you look at the camo on the Japs, my opinion anyway. Getting back to the game, Gamgoon, in his infinite wisdom and his sheer skill as a carrier player, you know, this is coming back to Gamgoon's skill here as a carrier player, has recognized that most of the enemy teams around the enemy base or most of the enemy ships around the enemy base are dead. Enemy ships are closing in onto our cap. He needs to get out of here, so he decides, shoot up the channel and let's go cap that enemy base. You know, I'm sure there are other carrier captains out there who do the same thing, but I haven't seen it a whole lot. The majority of the carrier players I tend to play with or see are all concerned about, I don't know, shooting down other enemy planes or killing enemy ships, not concerned about the position of their ship at all, unless it comes under some sort of like danger, unless, you know, there's a destroyer nearby or an enemy ship nearby. Suddenly they're at their ship piling or captaining it, whatever, and trying to get away. You know, not Gamgoon. It always seems that he is doing something. Even when, I mean, if you were watching the mini-map there earlier when I was still alive, you would notice that Gamgoon isn't just sitting in the back in his carrier launching planes. He's moving from west to east, east to west, you know, just moving around and keeping his carrier as close as possible to where it needs to be. So, you know, great job by Gamgoon. So he's out of the channel now. You can see the enemy carriers right in front of us. There are only 2 enemy ships at this time remaining. We've got a destroyer and we've got this enemy aircraft carrier. So we are going to do something about that enemy aircraft carrier. You can see Gamgoon's planes are already on it. I mean, he launched those well in advance of his push through the channel there. They're attacking it now, and because he's closed the distance, you know, obviously they'll be able to rearm, refuel, and get back in the air to attack the enemy carrier in less time than, say, if he had ran to the, I don't know, southwest corner. I see a lot of people do that. So good job by Gamgoon here. The enemy destroyer is now gone, and we've won the map. Won the match, so, you know, fantastic. Now, my overall results aren't too bad. You can see them here. I did have a Confederate flag on, so it contributes to the overall battle. But look at the number of planes Gamgoon got. 70 planes, 70 planes shot down. He's top overall on the team. No surprise there. In terms of damage done and credits, not too bad on my behalf, but, you know, I still did die. Anyway, that was today's video. I thank you guys so much for taking the time and watching today. And as always, I do hope you enjoy the rest of your day.